Hey everybody, Old Man from Old Man Enlightenment here. I've been working on setting up a YouTube channel for several weeks now, and while I'm not ready to start posting content for that channel, I think I've found a way to create some content and maybe help some other people out that are starting their own YouTube channels. I've spent a bunch of time researching gear and software and setting up a studio in a bedroom in my house. I've also spent a bunch of time researching content and deciding what kind of stuff I wanted to do on my channel. Starting with this video, I'm going to do a weekly vlog that will eventually run alongside my main channel. I'm going to talk about the lessons I've learned in setting everything up and creating content and posting content. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not holding myself out as an expert here. I'm a complete noob when it comes to creating YouTube content. This isn't going to be a tutorial channel. What I'm hoping to do is just share some of the lessons that I've learned and hopefully work along with other people who are kind of in the same spot that I am and help each other out. So through the weeks, I will walk through some of the gear purchases I've made, how I've come to the decisions to make those purchases, as well as some of the other challenges with setting up lighting and coming up with ideas for content. What I'm hoping to do is come up with something that people can follow along, see my progress as I go, learn from the lessons that I've gone through, kind of shorten the learning curve for other people a little bit, and collaborate a little bit and get some ideas from each other. So with that being said, let's kick this thing off. Yep, that's about how far along I am. And like I said, I'm not ready to start creating content. I've spent most of my time these last few weeks learning the nuts and bolts of the cameras and the software and watching content from a lot of the creators that I respect and kind of want to emulate. So how did I get here? Well, this all started during the COVID-19 separation. I was fortunate enough to work for an essential business and was able to work from home. So in my free time, I started watching, a lot more TV, got to the end of Netflix, started consuming an unhealthy amount of YouTube, and decided that might be kind of fun. Now, I cut my teeth on video by spending my work hours during the COVID separation creating some training videos for the company. Now that was all voiceover and bringing in video content, but it gave me a chance to learn how to use the editing software. So as you might have noticed, that opening sequence had maybe some different lighting, different zoom level on the lens. And it might be a little bit jarring, but as I do these videos, I'm probably going to do some experimentation and see how things work. That first sequence was a little grainy and ugly. My lighting is not good. So I'll do some experimentation to see if I can fix that stuff up. So here's one of those jarring changes that I was talking about. I switched to a completely different lens. I've got a little faster lens, although it's a prime lens, so I have to sit pretty far back from the camera from where I was before. But it should be picking up more light and hopefully be looking a little bit better. I'll give you a break from the scene changes for a little while. It's going to take a lot of experimentation for me to find a setup that I really like. So let's get back to how I got started. Once I decided I was going to start making my own content, I went back and rewatched a lot of stuff from the YouTube creators that I really appreciated. And I was looking at their content, of course, but I was also looking at the aesthetic of their videos, the production value. And I found that the ones that I kept going back to and watching more had really good production value. And there's a lot of content out there that I really liked, but I had a low tolerance for poor production value, especially bad audio, but poor video quality kind of tripped me up too. I couldn't watch it quite as long. So I started analyzing what it was in these videos that I really liked and started trying to figure out what it would take to create something close to that. One of the content creators that I found myself going back to over and over again is Peter McKinnon. McKinnon is a Canadian cinematographer and photographer, and his aesthetic is just absolutely gorgeous. It's really something to aspire to. I'll never get there. This guy is incredible. But the cool thing is he does a lot of tutorials, both on cameras and gear and, shooting, composition, software, just about everything. So really, really good place to start. What I found interesting about Peter McKinnon's stuff is that he's a skinny jeans wearing, tattooed knuckles, coffee obsessed, and I mean really obsessed, hipster. Should be everything that an old man like me should hate. But his stuff is so good and his personality is great. So go check out his stuff. Very, very helpful. I will link to that and just about everything else I talk about in the description of the video below, so you can go check out their stuff. Then I started watching a lot of Potato Jet. Outstanding tutorials, another professional cinematographer, really, really good tips, and gives some really good advice on how to do stuff on a pretty low budget. This talking head stuff is tough. I'm going to have to learn how to do this. I also watched a lot of stuff from Tech Gear Talk, really, really good gear tutorials, the Crowley crew, and there are some others that I'll bring up later on, and maybe I'll throw a couple of extra links in the description. So one of the things that I will caution you on, especially if you're watching Peter McKinnon, don't get discouraged. There's no way that you're going to be able to come out of the gate doing stuff that looks like his stuff looks, but it's something to aspire to. So see if you can figure out how to get even one step closer every time you do a video to what he's doing, and you'll be doing yourself a real big favor. So those are a few of the channels that I've been watching to try to learn from. In fact, the tutorial of the week this week is from Potato Jet. He did a video helping a friend set up a YouTube studio in his home, and the whole video is about how to set up lighting on a budget. It's really cool. They went down to Home Depot, bought a bunch of stuff off the shelf from Home Depot, and set up this studio. One of the things that was super helpful about this is that Potato Jet walks through the thought process of how he wants to set things up, gives a lot of examples, and I think he comes up with something really nice on probably a little over the budget that he started with, but he set it up really nice. Gear of the week. This week it's microphones. I experimented with a lot of different stuff, and I ended up landing on a Yeti Blue. This guy right here. I think for the price, bang for the buck, you can't do too much better, although try some other stuff. Your mileage may vary. Do spend some time watching the audio tutorials and learning how to set up the mic. Do some experimentation with how far away the microphone is from your face when you're speaking. One of the things that I did learn is that environment is half the battle. I still have a little bit more room echo than I would like to have here, and I'm probably going to have to put some acoustic panels up. It's a very oddly shaped room, and that sound really bounces around in here. I really believe production quality will make a big difference in how many people subscribe to our channels, and how many people watch all the way to the end and actually engage with us. So that's one of the things that I'm going to work on the most through this vlog. So this is where I'm going to end this one. Every week, I'll go through what lessons I've learned. Hopefully you'll see some progress in the quality of not only the production quality, but my skill in doing this as well, because right now I suck. As much as I hate to ask someone to subscribe to a channel that's this new and this rough, it would really help me know if I was on the right track with what I'm doing here. So if you're feeling it, mash the subscribe button. Next week, we'll talk about cameras and software, some of the stuff that I've learned there, some of the choices that I've made. So come back next week and check it out. Cheers.